The Cleveland Browns lost to the Cincinnati Bengals 17-6. Their head coach Kevin Stefanski spoke about Joe Flacco throwing 2 interceptions, and it raised some tough questions. Some people think this is just part of the game, but others believe it shows that Flacco might not be the right fit anymore. This also connects to the bigger conversation about Shedeur Sanders and what his future could look like in the NFL. Once again, a turnover is a turnover, no matter how you try to explain it away. Whether the receiver dropped the ball, or it got tipped into the defender's hands, the stat sheet still shows 2 interceptions. There's no fine print saying, not really the quarterback's fault. That's the brutal truth fans don't want to admit. Anyway, Stefanski called out Flacco on those interceptions, and the debate is whether this opens the door for someone new, like Shedeur Sanders, or whether the Browns are just making excuses. Some fans even think the coaching staff is protecting Flacco too much, which could cause bigger problems down the road.
And win this game on Sunday. I mean, 2 teams coming off of tough losses.
Yeah, I watched it this morning, Mary Kay. Obviously, we know it's a division opponent. For us, it's Baltimore, who we know well. They know us well. We expect it to be hard fought like it always is.
And then my second question is, when you went back and watched the Joe interceptions, I know he was under duress on the first one, and I know Jerry laid out and tried to make a nice diving catch there, but are these 2 picks where you kind of cut Joe a little bit of slack because obviously they were both deflected, or do these still go on the quarterback side of the ledger?
Well, I'm not going to get into specifics necessarily on those 2 plays, Mary Kay, other than to say we trust our guys. We got to be clean, and it takes everybody. I've said to you guys before, not all interceptions are created equal. Sometimes the defense makes a great play. Sometimes the ball gets batted in the air, all those type of things. We have to just learn from them. There are definitely things that we can do better on those plays, and we have to, because those should be completion plays. Both will result in a first down and keep our offense on the field. That's one of the things that is tough, because it takes our offense off the field, which, we had a lot of confidence in what we were doing.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Scott, then Tony.
Hey, Kevin, was Jack the only injury coming out of yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. And, after the game, Joe Flacco said he thought the inexperience showed up a little bit. Did you notice that when you were watching, whether it's mistakes that you could say, okay, this is because these guys haven't played a lot?
Yeah, hard to say. We certainly were not perfect yesterday, and I, myself included, our coaches included. We can do better. So we'll learn from those, but hard to say. Thanks.
All right, last one from Tony.
Kevin, a couple players after the game, notably Flacco and Judy, had the attitude like, we'll find out a lot more about ourselves, how we react to this adverse loss. Was that the message you carried after the game to them? And do you agree with that?
Well, there's a lot of messages after a game like that, Tony, but it's obvious and it's true. You want to come away with from those games with a win, and the disappointment is real. The other thing that's real is we got a game this week, and you got to turn the page, and that's what we'll do as a football team. We'll learn from this one, but it's Ravens week for us once we get done with these meetings, and that's where all of our focus will go.
Based on Kevin Stefanski's answers, I still have no clue what's going through his head. He's honestly a strange guy, if you ask me. He doesn't give Joe Flacco any praise for those 2 interceptions by saying, "Oh, it was the receiver's fault," but he also doesn't really blame Flacco either. It's like he's stuck in the middle, dodging responsibility, and then somehow brings up the Baltimore Ravens like it even matters. That's why, 9 times out of 10, we won't see Shedeur Sanders or even Dillon Gabriel anytime soon, because Stefanski just won't commit. Now looking ahead, the Browns are about to face the Ravens, and let me tell you right now, I expect Baltimore to dominate Cleveland. Joe Flacco is not Josh Allen, not even close. I still don't understand how the Ravens blew that 40-25 lead with just 4 minutes left, and Allen rallied his team back to win. Flacco at age 40 is not doing that, and anyone who thinks otherwise is lying to themselves. You guys can sound off in the comments about what you think, but the facts are the facts. I'm just keeping you updated with the news we're getting every single day. And to be real, if the Browns keep letting Flacco coast while ignoring Sanders and Gabriel, fans will start demanding big changes, maybe even calling Stefanski's job into question. Some people already think the coach has lost the locker room, and honestly, I can't say they're wrong. Hopefully, we'll see quarterback changes in the next 3 to 5 weeks, because something has to give. By week 3 or week 5, the Browns need to start making moves, and honestly, it has to happen fast if Shedeur Sanders is going to get his shot. I'm hoping Dillon Gabriel gets called up first, and then we can finally see Sanders step in, because the current depth chart is Joe Flacco, then Gabriel, then Sanders. Once Sanders gets on the field, though, it's over, everything changes. The hype will be real, and it could be the moment that shifts the Browns' future. I can't wait to see it unfold, because this has the potential to be legendary. If the Browns stick with Flacco too long, they'll waste the season and the fan base will explode with frustration. Imagine the energy in Cleveland if Sanders takes over and proves he's the guy. It could turn into one of the biggest quarterback stories of the year. And honestly, if Stefanski doesn't make the switch soon, people are going to start questioning if he even knows how to run this team.